G'day, I'm Jason and welcome to Beginning Bootstrap. In this course we're going to go through and build a simple page that has a sort of company front page sort of look and feel to it with some different sections with Bootstrap. So we're going to start from the very beginning, and so one of the things we're going to use is Google Chrome, and we're going to start with going and getting Bootstrap and downloading that. So go to getbootstrap.com and we're going to click on Getting Started. And we're going to download the Bootstrap. Currently it's version 3.3.7, so go ahead and click to download the Bootstrap component. And once you've done that, you want to unzip that into a new folder wherever you're going to be doing your work. We're going to use the top level of that folder. So once you unzip it, you'll see it'll have 3 folders inside of it. Those are all the Bootstrap files that we need. If you look inside each of those, you can see a bunch of different Bootstrap CSS and fonts and whatnot. So once you've downloaded that and unzipped it there, you can go ahead and we can get Sublime installed. So I'm using Sublime as my editor. You don't necessarily have to do that and use Sublime. You can use your own editor. So I like that because it has a bunch of features that you can add into helping you with your HTML editing, syntax highlighting and whatnot, and it's pretty friendly with integrating with the browser. So once I had Sublime installed, I can go ahead and use that to open up that folder. So I go to Sublime, open the folder, and you'll see there's the same files here again. So I'm going to be switching between Sublime and my browser as we do stuff. So very first thing we want to do is get some HTML to start with. It's always good to kind of grab some stuff as a starting point to get going. What I'm going to use is the Getting Started section here. We'll come back and look at this Bootstrap CDN in a minute, but scroll all the way down here until you get to the basic template. And so we're going to use the basic HTML template here to get us started, and go ahead and copy that. There's a copy button over here if you're as a shortcut rather than having to highlight and select everything. So we'll go back and we're going to paste that into a new file. We're going to save that as index.html. And so we should be able to right click here and open this in the browser and get our hello world. We can't really tell exactly that it's using Bootstrap, but we'll see pretty soon as we put a few classes and whatnot in that's all working. You can always check to make sure it all worked correctly and there's no errors in your file. Look at your inspector, you right click on the window, click inspect, and then have a look here and you'll see that there is no errors, which is what you're expecting, so everything to be clean and good to go. So I want to talk about the CDN. If we scroll back to the top, the CDN is a content distribution network, so that you can replace some of those links of the locations of the actual Bootstrap files that we're going to be including into our HTML from the MaxCDN Bootstrap location. Now the advantage to this, and we're going to go ahead and grab each of these separately, the minified CSS. So you'll see this is pointing at bootstrap min.css. So if we go back to our Sublime file, we can see that bootstrap min.css. So I'm just going to replace this section here with that. And I like to use the CDN because it takes load off of my server. And also it's one of the fastest ways of making sure that you're getting it cached correctly. So if you update your site and whatnot, that the caching is all working as expected. So you're not having to host the actual Bootstrap files for every user that's coming in. So it reduces your server load a little bit. So I'm going to go and grab the next one. There's a theme which isn't in our basic file. So we don't have a theme right now that we're using. So that's okay. We can put that in if you want. Let's just go ahead and do that. It won't change much. So we can actually use that as well. So I put in the sample theme. And we'll talk about themes and whatnot in a minute. So then we can go ahead and put in the JavaScript component. If we can copy that section, there we go. And go down to where the JavaScript piece is, which is bootstrap min.jss. So you can see, see here that I get all those. So then I just can go back and reload that page that I was just looking at. and refresh this and see that it's all still working just fine. So that is kind of how you'll get Bootstrap started. I'm assuming that most of you are probably here because you know the advantages of using Bootstrap, so I won't go through them right now, but I'll just mention a couple of things that make this sort of very friendly. Bootstrap's really good at giving you a consistent and easy way of doing your layout that works in a responsive manner. So what does that mean? Well, responsiveness is all about when you're resizing your window. So if I'm resizing my browser window here, you can see how this Bootstrap page, just on the home page, it still works. It doesn't go off the side of the screen. So you'll find that you want your site to be able to work on mobile devices, and so as you get smaller, you want tables and columns and sections. And so the next section we're going to talk about when we go into Bootstrap a bit further, but we're going to be talking about the grid system quite a bit, and so that's one of the things that really gives you a kind of a consistent look and feel between different device sizes. And so if you want to learn a bit more, if you just go to the Bootstrap main page here, you can read about how Bootstrap is designed for one framework for every device, and lots of features to kind of keep you consistent in your user elements so that you don't have kind of weird UI flow issues.